So next bit is we've got to attach the heater to the bottom of the frame, and then we're going to build a frame up over the top of it as well. And this area down beneath here is going to be for the exhaust and for the air intake. And on the side over here we're going to put in the fuel tank as well. So we'll get this bolted down and we'll continue on. Hey guys, this is where we've got up to. So down underneath here we've hooked up the exhaust, and over the back over there's the air intake. We've hooked up the where the air comes out essentially, and we put a splitter in here. So we might maybe put some plate here on the front, I think, once we finish this off. We've got a spot over here for the fuel tank, and so it'll be sitting between some stuff over there, so that should lock it in nicely. And there's the heater up top up there, and around the back we've got the air intake, and this will be the electrical cable, which we've got to wire all that up. And at the moment we've just got all the electrical stuff, and then all the pumps and stuff just all sitting there at the minute, so still got to hook all that up. Attached obviously the hose outlet for the pump as well. Okay guys, so we've assembled most of it now. Sorry I didn't include you in all of it. It's partially because it was a bit of a bugger trying to get everything in line, hey? And with this tubing stuff, you sort of got to guesstimate, you know, roughly how thick you need it, and then bang it in. Then you discover you got to get something else in, and you got to bang that together, and you got to unbang something else together. So yeah. One thing about this structure, it might look quite large. That's one thing I am surprised about, how large it ended up coming out, but it is really light. Because it's made of an aluminium framework, it is really light and to pick up with. So things we've still got to do, well, I've left the fuel pump and all that here, so I've got to start to organise that. Just down in there, you'll see, just over in here, you'll see there's the outlet for the fuel and the diesel. Diesel just fits in up the top up here, so it's inside there, and it's locked into this this case here. It's no way it's coming out there. You pick the whole thing up by it pretty much. So it's in there nice and solid. The air's going to come in through here. This is the air intake, and at the moment I've got the exhaust over here. The one thing I'm not too happy about really is that it has quite a curve in it. And my understanding is that really that should try and be as straight as possible. So I probably need to think about that one a little bit more. So I'll keep working on that one and see what other ideas I can come up with as well. But once we've done that, then we've got these panels here. So we've got some panels to mount. So we've got one there, got one which we've had there for a while now, and we're going to mount those onto here. And so we're going to have one on the front, and it'll cover the whole front panel. We'll have another one up over the top up here as well. So essentially these nozzles will just stick out through them. And what the plan is over in this area in here, I'm going to put the this little guy here. So it's got a little meter and displays everything what's going on with the system as well. So the idea essentially is, you know, to have like this end here, you know, sticking in the tent area with your controls and all that on it over there, and the other end sticking outside. I still do have some pipe left over, and I might actually utilise some of that. What I would like to do is around the back here, this is actually where the air goes in, and you know, it's so close to the exhaust, I'm thinking it's going to suck exhaust air in. So I would like maybe to just, you know, just put a pipe, I think this actually screws off, just stick a pipe on it and stick it off over the other side, you know, so it's up out of the way. And so we might try that out as well, guys. Alright, so we've hooked up the fuel system. So what happens is the fuel comes out just down there, and then it goes up here into the fuel filter, and then the fuel filter goes back down and around and goes back into the fuel pump, which is just sitting in behind there, and then that goes up, back down, and then goes up underneath there into the heater itself. So fingers crossed I did that right. It's first go, so we'll see how we go. Alright guys, so the next bit we've got to hook up is all the electrical. Now it's pretty simple really. I mean, it looks complicated, but essentially they've got this plug here, and this one it can go in one place. It goes into the heater, so we'll plug that into the heater. This is our display, and fortunately they come with a little plug. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a plate on the other side over there, and we're going to drill a hole through that, and then we'll screw that onto there. And what else we got here? We've got the positive and negative wires. So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe putting a cigarette lighter on these things here. So instead of having to hook that up to a battery or something like that, we can hook that up to the camper trailer and do it that way. It's got a fuse over there as well, guys, in case the fuse blows. And this guy over here, this one here goes on to the top of the pump, which is just sitting just up in there. So you'll see just up in here, I'll get my finger right, up there, this pump, this clips straight in there. So that's pretty much there is to it, the electrical wise. So really all you've got to do is just hook up your positive and your negative wires on this guy as well. Okay, so it took about, I don't know, 5 minutes to put the wiring in, pretty simple. What we're going to do, we're going to attach these guys here to our battery. We'll put a cigarette lighter socket there, I think, and we'll get that mounted on one of the plates here. We've got a remote control for this guy as well, so we can turn it on and off by a remote if we want to. So it'll be nice to see if it works. I put the remote, the faceplate just sitting up here. We're going to actually have that sitting this little gap in here in a moment as well. And essentially what happens, we run the wiring around over here. It goes into the pump on that side, and the wiring goes around here on the other side and hooks into the actual heater itself. So yeah, that's what we've done. So we'll have to wait until the morning before we fire this up and give it a go. Okay guys, this is it all hooked up. We've done a test run, seems to be working fine. What we did is we just grabbed the battery, put it on charge. It hasn't got enough charge in it at the moment, hey. So before we go and finish, assembling it all, we thought we'd test it and make sure it's all functioning properly, hey. And so what we've done over here, we've got the display sitting up over there. So hopefully you can see that all right. It looks a bit blurred here in the camera, but yeah. So we've got the display sitting there. And what you can do is you can hold this button here and this one over here, and it brings up this H off, and then you can push this up button and you'll hear the pump, which is just sitting down there. You'll hear that start to kick in, and then what you can do is you can push the down button, and then that turns the pump off. And what that actually does is it gets all the fuel through the line and goes through everything until it gets to the actual heater itself. So that's the way, guys, of like priming your lines before you get it up and running. And then to actually get it going, so I'll just get this okay, just turn it on and hit the up button is the way I understand you do it. And that then turns it on. It takes a while for it to get going, guys. What you're hearing at the moment, hear that? You can hear the fan kicking in. And there's just cool air blowing out there at the moment. So we'll let it go there for a minute or two, and I'll cut back in when it actually gets going for you. So that's where all the air's getting sucked in. You can feel it all getting sucked in there, eh? And around here, yeah, it's definitely warm now, eh? Beautiful. That'd be nice on a cold morning. So how do you power it off? You just hold this button in here, the power button there. Hold that in for, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds. Then you hear as she starts to drop down speed. She'll still go for a while. She'll still be blowing out the warm air out over there, hey? She goes for a little while, and then till it all cools down, and it switches off altogether. So yeah, all right guys. What we'll do, we'll cut back in the next episode, and we'll go and have a look at how we've actually put the fascia and all that on it, and how it's going at the very end. I want to change that exhaust probably a little bit as well. A couple of things there I want to modify, but at least I know it's all going there for the moment. And yeah, we'll see how we go next time.